Is
that better?
Jonas, let me know if that's better. I just turned mine up. Okay, whatever. I put my headset, my microphone closer to
Yeah,
my
I
mouth,
turned
so
you
it's
up
all
too.
good.
We should be good.
Okay, cool.
All right, cool. Sorry about that.
What I was
Shit.
saying is that I'm going to try and really provide a top five for each position, even though it's a two-game slate. Um, if I don't include someone that you like, obviously keep playing them in your lineups. I'm not trying to talk you off a gut feeling for a GPP. I'm just saying these are the five people from each position that I would be more inclined to get into lineups. And remember, these are going to be more DraftKings specific. Still, I know people have tickets for FanDuel. With certain things can still translate. If a value play is probably going to be a value play on both sites. Obviously, I haven't looked at pricing on FanDuel, but let's say George Hill I know is 4,300 on DraftKings. If he's 5,700 or something like that on FanDuel, that's obviously not the same thing that we need to be playing over there. Just take that into account. Like I'm already trying to put together this top five of people that I know are getting minutes off the bench because that's what we're gonna have to look for. You're gonna play some bench people tonight. Like if you're going to, and it's hitting on those bench people to get either even if it's just getting value, that could be enough for you to take down a GBP with the right pieces from the main people. Um, so cool. And they said my volume's great now too, so cool. Um, so that's what I'm gonna try and do tonight. I know I usually do like a top three or just a top five overall for these small slates, but I know people have a lot of tickets, so I'm really gonna try and dive into who is the right plays, who I would have more percent of and stuff like that. Um, all right, so go ahead and just jump into this OKC and Denver game. Um, Shea is 8,700 on DraftKings. Um, and Jokic is 11K. On a two-game slate, Jokic is. I'm hoping that I can find him into our cash lineup on FanDuel and our DK core, but with the only known piece of value on this slate that I can guarantee should be on both sites is Isaiah Roby. Um,
For sure.
just play him. Don't overthink it. On a 10-game slate, you can think, okay, maybe I don't want to pay 4,100 and then 4,500 on FanDuel for Isaiah Roby, and I'd be like, okay, that's fine. You don't have to. He probably isn't going to get you 30. He's probably going to get you like 22, 23, 24, somewhere around there, and it's not going to kill you as long as you get another good value piece. On this slate, not having him could kill you. It really could, because if he hits 24 and gets 6x, and the rest of your lineup hits 5 to 6x, that could be enough to take something down depending on how the slate rolls out. So just take the value pieces that are just standout value pieces, and if you can get Jokic, get him. What's Shea's price on FanDuel?
I'm looking.
8,600 still. Like I don't know if we
Yeah.
really need to get up to Shea
It's pretty
today.
high.
Um, he has the ceiling, but like there's like in this same game, I'd much rather have Jamal Murray on DraftKings. I'd much rather have Jamal Murray on FanDuel.
Yeah. Jamal
So
Murray's
I know they're different.
7,800.
I know they're different positions on FanDuel. But I'd rather probably go there. Um, Will Barton at 5,700 is not bad for DraftKings. He's dual position eligibility, so that's really helpful. Um, he's going to get you either like 13, 14, or he's going to probably get you 30. So again, it's a good GBP thing to hit on. It's a small game slate. You want people with ceilings. Jamal Murray, Will Barton obviously have them. Darius Baisley is a person that I would have exposure to in my lineups. I don't know what's his price on FanDuel. Baisley 6,100. Still, like we've seen him flash upsides of these ceiling games. However, I'd probably be more inclined to not get to him on FanDuel at 6,100 because, and even probably on DraftKings, the more and more I'm thinking about it right now, we don't have Michael Porter Jr. in this game, so you've got to think of where you're going to get production from. And honestly, I only want these low price like wing players of George Hill, a little bit of Diallo and Dort. They're a little bit more priced down.
Yeah,
Um,
Baisley's 52. Power forward eligible on FanDuel. So.
Baisley's Baisley's 52. I typed in something wrong. Yeah, no, okay. I read him as 61. I typed in something completely wrong. Baisley 5,200 on FanDuel is a really good play. Just wipe
Yeah,
out of
because
your
I
memory
mean,
what I just
people are
said.
gonna
I
pay.
thought he was 6,100. I thought he was 6,100. 5,200 is great. 5,200 is fantastic.
Yeah,
Really
the
good
only
play
thing
on
about that,
FanDuel.
Zach, he's shooting like sub 30% the last 2 weeks.
Well,
He's
I'm just
super
saying on a
cold.
2-game slate, I know he has ceiling.
Yeah.
He
Yeah, for
hasn't really
sure.
shown it. He does like the thing. I think the key to this slate of you taking out a GPP is getting Dort, Diallo, or Baisley correct. One of those is going to have a good game. One of them is going to.
Yeah, I'm going
Whether
with
they get
Dort.
blown out, whether they get blown out, whether they whatever, one of those three is going to have a good game because their production comes from one of those three and Shea and occasionally George Hill.
Yep.
Getting Diallo, Dort, Baisley correct is going to be your key tonight. Dort just blew up, so he's probably going to be the more popular play. On Fanduel, I'm more inclined to let's see. Diallo is 45, Dort is 53. So on Fanduel, I'm more inclined to go to Baisley, just personal preference. I don't. I just that's where I prefer to go over there. If I was picking between those three, on DraftKings, um, Dort. It's probably Dort on DraftKings because Baisley's 56 and Dort's cheaper. So, but there's going to be recency bias with Dort. And before that blow up game, he hadn't done well except for the beginning of the season.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking
We
a
have
dude had
not seen these
6
play yet
steals.
either.
6 steals.
Oh, I
That's
know.
not gonna happen again.
Yeah, he's not going to do that. He's not going to do that every game. No. Okay, so keep going in this game. You can like Jermichael Green is still playing some minutes here and there. Like you can, he's kind of priced up though. Let's see on FanDuel.
He's 44 on FanDuel.
44. Like I'm a little bit better on FanDuel, but like meh. Paul Millsap is the guy that has ceiling. He's 4,500 on DraftKings. Probably a pretty good play. He could easily find a way into a cash build on DraftKings. He is 47 on FanDuel. Also could easily find a way into a cash build. Gary Harris is 4,400.
On FanDuel though is you're probably gonna play Zion at 78, and then you're probably gonna play Roby, and that's your 2 power forward spots. That's the only thing.
I don't know about. I mean, okay, let's think about where Zion plays on the floor and who is guarding him, or not going to guard him, but is going to stop him near the basket. It's Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, I guess
I don't know that I want to go to Zion at 7,800. Zion in the lower 7Ks, like your mid 7Ks, I'm more inclined to go to. But his 7,800, like, okay, if he gets you 37, 38, okay, he hits right at value. If like Paul Millsap gets you 25 or Darius Baisley gets you 30, those are superior plays on a small game slate.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. It could be the way to go, but Zion's kind of on an island in that power forward, so he'll garner some ownership because he's the only one above $5,500.
Yeah.
So
Price
I mean,
tag alone.
Gonna garner some. Yeah.
All right. Here's ownership. I'll
gravitate to that.
Yeah, so Zion's going to be 40 plus. They've got Baisley at 31 to 35. And we got to remember, guys, this is going to be inflated because it's only a 2-game slate.
I mean, I've got Zion at 61% for
there you go.
GPPs.
Yeah.
So I prefer to get away from that. The matchup is terrible. I think there's better matchups on this slate. Like, I think Darius Baisley has a better matchup.
Yeah.
Paul Millsap isn't going to be able to follow this kid around. Like, so
yeah, Millsap's
Isaiah Roby, you're obviously playing. Isaiah Roby, you can fade in GPP, of course. I mean, okay, fade is not the correct word. You can go underweight on the field or something. I would not fade Isaiah Roby because you want to at least have a chance if he does well. I would personally just go over the field on Isaiah Roby. That's what my take would be, is to just be over the weight on him and not have to worry about anything. But continuing in this game, Gary Harris, you can play. He has ceiling. He has also floor. George Hill, good play. Not really feeling like the Monty Morris of the world at 4,200 on DraftKings. PJ Dozier, I'd be more inclined to get to.
I like Dozier a good bit. He's 4,400 on FanDuel. I like Dozier.
Yeah. So my favorite like value play. How much? What's he on? Okay, yeah. So my favorite like probably lower owned GPP value play is gonna be Kenrick Williams, and potentially Maladon. So Kenrick Williams, like they got him in as part of a trade over the offseason and kept him. And the last 2 games he's gotten more run. One, the Lakers, he's only got 15 minutes, but played really well. Next game, he was rewarded with 27 minutes. I'm pretty sure Baisley played in that game. Let me make sure no one was like out because I know Baisley had an ankle. Yeah, no, he played that game. So I don't remember anyone being out for that game that would have caused him to get more minutes. So Kendrick Williams is a good GPP dart throw because we've seen his upside when people were injured on New Orleans last year, him getting, 38 minutes stuff a couple times and hitting 40 plus. So him getting you 25 minutes tonight and getting you 22 points could work out pretty well at 3,600 on DraftKings and 3,800 on FanDuel. So I don't mind him at all. Kind of below that, I don't want any of this, crap for this game that's below that Kendrick Williams and Tyler Maladon. I will say you can play Facundo Campazzo. He's getting like 10 to 14 minutes a game. If this game blows out, which it's a possibility, he could get some run like the whole fourth quarter. So that's a 3K play you could go to on DraftKings. I don't really have much else for this game. Those are the players that I would want to take shots on. And also, if you're kind of going that this game could be a blowout, you can play Kuzaveski for OKC, 3,200 on DraftKings. If he gets the minutes, he could get you there. But the rest of this garbage, I don't want to play Muscala. I just I don't really like him, but okay, never mind. You can include Muscala obviously in your value plays. I'm not playing, Howard, Hartenstein, Cancer, Bol, and Ja, Hampton, Miller, Jackson, Moses Brown, or Josh Hall. I'm not playing any of that down there. So
Yeah, Muscala's popping a little bit on optimizers.
yeah, I'm sure he's probably getting some ownership. Oh,
yeah,
he's
about
4K
20.
on FanDuel. Don't play him on FanDuel. He's 3,400 on DraftKings. Don't play 4K on FanDuel. Don't do that.
Yeah, I think there's better plays.
Don't go there.
Sure.
Um,
So just really quick, what's your top play on each site for this game?
for this game, Jamal Murray.
Jamal Murray. Both sites?
Definitely on DraftKings.
He's 78 on FanDuel.
Let me look. Price wise, I mean, okay, I'm not including Isaiah Roby. Isaiah Roby's the top play from this
Sure.
game. I've already just said play him. Moving past that. For me, it's probably Darius Baisley on FanDuel. His price is just right where it's a good price, and I know that he has 30, 35, 40 point upside. So if he starts hitting shots and stuff like that, I think he can pay off pretty well. So yeah, Jamal Murray on DraftKings. I don't know how I'm gonna get away from him in cash game builds. 7,300 on a 2-game slate is too cheap for Jamal Murray. I don't care if he gets me 20 points tonight. He's the correct play, like long term.
For sure. Okay, cool. All right, well, let's move on to the next game. Got New Orleans.
Shea is cheaper on FanDuel than DK. Yeah, he's $100 cheaper, Jonas. If Shea could end up in the cash build on FanDuel, I mean, I'm using cash as a loose term on the slate. This is a GPP slate. It's 2 games. There's gonna be cashy plays like Isaiah Roby and stuff like that. I mean, Shea could fall into that cash build because he can get you 40 and 50 most of the time. But he's also 8,600, and it just depends on where things break down at. So yeah, moving on to the next game of New Orleans and Utah. I mean, we've got on DraftKings, Brandon Ingram's now 9,100. That's kind of getting up there, ridiculousness. He's kind of priced at where his like ceiling has kind of been for the year. He's gotten a couple 50-pointers, but he's a good mid-range jump shooter, so he doesn't have to finish at the rim. And Zion doesn't have to finish at the rim either. I'm just saying, most of his stuff's gonna have to come against Gobert. I don't really like a lot of this. Yeah, I don't really like a lot of this Ingram, Mitchell, Zion on DraftKings. personally. Gobert's the first person I would really look to. 7,600 is just a good price for him.
Yeah.
Most of the time, he's just going to get there. Also, New Orleans has been pretty bad against center. Usually, Adams has been a pretty good defensive center. Gets a lot of offensive rebounds, so it limits the other side's defensive rebounds. We're also talking about Rudy Gobert. Just really, he's just good. He's not defensive player of the year almost every other year. For no reason. The dude's really good. Dude also didn't get handed like what 80 some $1 million or whatever or more
Yeah.
for averaging like 12 points a game. The dude's really good. So another person I really like is Mike Conley, 6,800. It's just a good price tag on a 2-game slate. He can get us 20 or he can get us like 40 something. I think it's just a decent price tag for a guard with that gets usage. I mean, like look right there, Jordan Clarkson on DraftKings. You tell me you're gonna pay Jordan Clarkson 6,500, or you can pay Mike Conley 68. I'll take Mike Conley.
Yeah, I don't think Clarkson's in play with Ingles back. He just doesn't get the minutes. Now we need to monitor today what kind of
Is
usage
Ingles
and
confirmed
minutes.
back?
Yes, I believe so. He is back today.
Okay. Yeah, then I don't.
It just takes him out of play for me. I want to see how many minutes he gets with Ingles back because
He's
he's been doing.
questionable. Ingles is questionable. What are you talking about?
I heard he was
Not
playing
confirmed
earlier.
back. I don't like Jordan Clarkson on this slate at all either. On either site, 6,500 and 6,300 is just too much for his volatility. It's off the bench. This isn't. This is a shooter. This isn't a person that's getting you peripherals. This isn't like last night. I love Boucher still right now because as long as I know Alex Len or Aaron Baines is out, which Alex Len's been out personal reasons the last couple games, I don't mind playing Boucher off the bench because most of the time he's been starting the second half anyway. And then another reason is he gets every peripheral imaginable. He doesn't have to score me 30 points to pay off his price tag. Like last night, he got I think like 17 or 19 points, something like that. Had like 4 blocks, a steal, and like 12 rebounds and a couple assists. That's awesome. Jordan Clarkson doesn't do that. Can he? Yeah. I mean, we've seen him get peripherals in the past, but most of the time he's just a shooter. So I don't like him on either site at all tonight. I don't think that's where I want to be at. Where I do want to be at, and let me see if he's still cheap over here. Oh, did they move him positions too? They did. Okay, yeah. Bojan Bogdanovic. This dude's gonna have a blow up game eventually. He's just a good price on a 2-game slate. 5K and no longer power forward availability on FanDuel. Thank God. There's no reason that he should have been power forward on there. He's now small forward, so much better. He I wanted to play him so many times last week, and he would have just been an okay play. It wasn't like he was going to be a smash play. He was like 4,100 and 4,300 and 4,500 all last week, and he would have gotten us 28, 22, and 25. Would have been great. Would have been just enough at that price tag. But there was better power forward players all last week when I was providing. So I couldn't get to Bojan. Now that he's small forward, probably start getting to him a lot more. This is a dude that has 40-point upside, and we're talking about a decent price tag, 5,300 on DraftKings and 5K on FanDuel. That's a person I would rather be overweight on the field on. If this dude gets hot, he's just gonna be stroking the ball from deep. And New Orleans hasn't been the greatest defensive team on the planet. You're telling me that like
Lonzo out.
Well, Lonzo's probable today.
Yeah, we'll touch
on that. And I actually really like him on
cheap
on DraftKings. He's 6,300. What is he on FanDuel?
55.
Oh, that is such. Oh my god.
So do you want to move on to Lonzo, or you want to finish on Bojan?
I mean, I skipped Lonzo to go to Bojan, like price wise on DraftKings at least. No, I want to talk about Lonzo. Lonzo is a great play on FanDuel.
He's gonna play today. He's probable.
Yeah, he's probable. Let's see what kind of ownership he's getting the most ownership of point guards, respectively on
as he should
FanDuel,
I mean,
which he should. And this is a person that would be over the weight on the field on both sites.
Do you think he sees full run today? Minutes? Probably does. I'd say if he plays, he's gonna be 100%.
I think he gets like 30 to 32. I don't think you were gonna see his 36, 38 and stuff like that. He was, but I mean, like, this is a person that we know gets peripherals. Like he's gonna get some long rebounds from Donovan Mitchell shooting threes, from Conley, from Bojan, from Jordan Clarkson, from Ingles, from all these people shooting threes. This is like even Royce O'Neal. This is a team in Utah that shoots a lot. This isn't a team that scores all their points at the basket. Rudy Gobert is the only one that's really scoring a lot of points at the basket. Yes, Mitchell, Bojan, not really Bojan, Mitchell, Conley, Ingles, these people will have drive-in layups that'll go to Adams off of misses. But I mean, this is a prime opportunity to see more guards get more rebounds. Even on the other side with Conley and Donovan Mitchell, you've got Brandon Ingram that's a jump shooter. That he does go to the rim a lot. Don't get me wrong, but he may stay away from the rim as much with Gobert down there. You have Zion who does shoot jump shots. You have Lonzo that throws up bad shots all the time unless he's hot for that night. Then he's just stroking it for with his awkward ass shit. And then you also have Eric Bledsoe's not shooting as much and doesn't he's a jump shooter. Alexander Walker, why he's in there, is going to shoot shots. Josh Hart throws up threes like it's going out of business. So does JJ Redick. I think you're going to see more rebounds from more guards in this game than normal. I still like Rudy Gobert's price on DraftKings. I still think he probably gets you a double-double. And I think you can see a higher scoring upside from Rudy tonight as well as a possibility.
Yeah.
But I think you see him lower on his rebounds than he normally is. I think he's just going to just barely scrape through with that double-double most likely. I think we see 10, 11, and we could see 8 or 9 as well. But I think you can see more blocks and some more steals as well with this game.
Can you deeper dive for that? Why do you think that he's going to get less boards today than normal?
I think you just have a lot of shooters in this game. This isn't a game like Adams is not he's a traditional center, but he doesn't do a lot at the rim. And Mitchell has been shooting okay, let's see. Mitchell is averaging 7, 10, 7, 8, 9, 10. So probably 8 to 9 3-pointers a game. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Clarkson is averaging 8, 12, 9, 12, 5, 5, 6, 5. So we're probably talking about 7 threes. Longer shots tend to have longer rebounds, just as a general trend. Obviously, you can have these that barely click off the rim. They go to the center, whoever's right underneath. It's just longer rebound chances that Gobert isn't going to be able to get most of the time. So that tends to make me think that the guards in this game are going to have better rebounding opportunities. So, I mean, obviously they could hit all these threes, but I'm just saying, even Mike Conley shooting, 7, 4, 6, 4, 10, they're shooting a lot of threes a game on this team. Bojan shoots most of his shots from 3-point land. Clarkson shoots a lot of shots. Mitchell, we've already touched on. Royce O'Neal, most of his shots are coming from 3-point range. Almost all of his shots are from 3-point range. Almost all of them for Royce. Bojan's probably the same way. I mean, yeah, Bojan's shooting 9, 5, 6, 5, 10, 7, 3, 7. These are people that are shooting a ton of threes. It just tends to lead to more guard rebounds. Or guard and forward, those kind of wing players and backcourt. So that's what I think. I'd be more involved with the guards in this game. And then Gobert on DraftKings. I don't think he has a good price on Fanduel. Yeah, 8,500 on Fanduel. Just stay away from Gobert, in my opinion.
Cool. Yeah, I really like Lonzo
So,
for sure. He's too cheap,
yeah,
especially on FanDuel.
Yeah, I like Lonzo a lot.
That's not really a hot take.
I don't like Royce O'Neal's price tag on DraftKings. What is he on FanDuel? Probably awful.
Let me see. He is 5,500. He's a
Yeah,
little priced up.
Nope. Yeah,
I'd really play
nope.
Bojan for sure.
Oh, not even close.
Yeah.
Out
on Josh Hart.
So getting in. Yeah, I mean, you can play Josh Hart in tournaments because dude does have upside. A little bit harder with Lonzo back. For DraftKings value or potential value plays, Gorgeous Niang, you could play some. I think there's better options on the OKC and Denver game than this game with value option wise.
Yeah, I always Gorgeous John.
Utah runs a really tight rotation. And with Lonzo back, the people that would be so Alexander Walker before his blow up game in these games that he's been starting was in the 3Ks. if this was a game where Lonzo hadn't missed the last couple of games, we'd still have Alexander Walker at like 3,500, and I'd be telling you, like, hey, yo, make sure you get some Alexander Walker tonight. One of the guards get hurt, one of them gets in foul trouble, they get a blowout, like Alexander Walker's gonna get time. There's no way you play Alexander Walker on this slate. There's no way. So I think when you're looking for value on this 2-game slate, look for the OKC Denver game. That's where you're going to have better value. OKC's a rebuilding team. They're getting people involved. This game could be a blowout. You could get PJ Dozier and Monty Morris and Facundo Campazzo and all those kind of people from Denver get minutes. But I mean, obviously, I'm not in the business of predicting blowouts. Most of the value pieces are going to come from OKC tonight. You've got Muscala, you've got Roby, you've got George Hill, you've got all these people you can play. I think that's where you're gonna get your value pieces from.
I like it. What do
Who
you think about?
has good?
I was just. What do you think about Ingram? I know he is priced up, and we touched on him a little earlier. He's projecting to be
So
extremely high.
Ingram on FanDuel is a completely different story. He's 8,400. He's 9,100 on DraftKings.
Yeah, that's.
Um,
Is he the highest
I'm
person
not.
on DraftKings? Highest price?
No. Jokic is the highest.
Oh yeah, okay. We didn't really
Yeah,
touch on Jokic too much. Do we need to?
Jokic's a good play. I mean, if you can afford him, sorry, if you can afford him, he's obviously like a good play to have. Yeah, Brandon Ingram on FanDuel's probably a really good cash play.
Yeah.
You're just gonna have to pick and choose where you want to pay up today. Like obviously, if you're getting Jokic, you're gonna have to make sacrifices elsewhere. Also, FanDuel's a little bit easier to build with getting higher priced people. Just the way it shakes out. DraftKings is much more difficult to get. Like Jokic is gonna handicap your lineup on DraftKings. I really think that on FanDuel he's probably just the correct cash play because I'm probably here. I mean here, let me just see. Let me put
It's
in Ingram.
11.5.
Let me put in Jokic. Or okay, I'm not on the. Let me put in Jokic. Yeah, I mean having Ingram, Jokic, and Roby that leaves me at 59.33 per player. I mean like then you go like Baisley, you go Lonzo, and you go like that then you're at 6,200 already. Like that's just then you go like Bojan. You're at 66.33. Like shooting, wasn't there? There's a cheaper shooting guard that. Then you go like Harris or Hamidou Diallo, and like you go
Or Dozier.
or Dozier or something. Yeah. I go Jamal Murray. I mean, you could. There's just so much you can do.
Yeah. Yeah,
Even
it's definitely
getting
a lot looser
even
than
getting
DraftKings
Shea,
today.
like yeah, doesn't really work as well. Yeah, I mean Dozier's 4,400. I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of ways to get kind of whatever you want. Because like point guard, you don't have to have Jamal Murray. You can go down to George Hill, and
Bledsoe.
no one would really bat an eye at you. Yeah, Bledsoe. You can go to Bledsoe. Like you can do Lonzo Ball and Bledsoe. Have this 5,800 shooting guard. Like also kind of a no man's land. But like, yeah, FanDuel you can build whatever you want. Jokic is probably just going to be the best play on FanDuel at your center spot. Brandon Ingram is going to be the best play at the small forward. Lonzo's your best play at your point guard. Build from there. It's not that hard. Those people are going to be owned 80, 90+% on cash. So on GP they're gonna be 60+% owned. I'd be over the weight of the field on those. Like they're good prices, and I mean Jokic offers you the best upside on the slate, and it's unmatched. So he's just gonna get ownership no matter what. Even on like I mean let me just put him into a DraftKings build. Even on DraftKings, like having him and Roby, then I mean Jokic's probably just gonna find a way into a cash build on DraftKings too. For cash it's hard to fade the highest priced person when there's only one. It's not like we have a choice between two. When there's only one, it's hard to fade the highest priced person because he's gonna get ownership from everybody. From people that are sharp, from people that are fish, from everybody. On GPPs, of course you can, but I mean, if Jokic hits 60 points tonight, he's breaking the slate. On a normal slate, he doesn't break the slate at 60, but you getting that many guaranteed points, it's hard to get away from that. So for cash, that's what I'm talking about. So
Yeah, I like it. All right, I just told them in chat. Last minute questions. We're about done.
yeah, who has some questions? It's just a 2-game slate. There's not much that we
Yeah.
really could talk about. I
mean,
I can talk about every single player on the slate, but that doesn't do any good.
yeah, I think in my opinion, it's going to come down, especially on FanDuel, because they just don't know what they're doing with pricing. So I think it's probably going to be 1v1 or at best a 2v2 tonight for cash. So just be very careful. No reason.
Yeah.
We've been scorching hot. No reason to blow that bankroll on a stupid 2-game slate. So just please play responsibly. Dial it back. Play some small GPPs, single entry, and live to fight another day. This isn't it.
Yep.
This is definitely not it.
Oh, and anyone that's been listening this whole time, Hunter only likes Luguin's Dort because he picked him up against me in our season log. So he can have a player today.
Oh man, yep.
He can have a player today. I don't go back ahead of him. He's scared. Yep. My whole team's hurt, and he's only up 5 points.
Hey, man.
Or no, 9 points. He's
Dort's
scared.
Gonna get some steals today. He's gonna get some bleals.
Well, if he can keep within 9 of Conley, then we're gonna have a tied game.
Oh, I thought
and
you realized that
Hunter
earlier.
only has 1 pickup left for the whole week.
I'm good. I'm ready.
Yeah,
I got 8 more games
up
on you, so we'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll be fine. We'll see.
All right, guys. Last minute questions. We are at 40 minutes. This has been 10 minutes was technical difficulties, but still, this has been too long for a 2-gamer. So.
All right, I'm not seeing any
get about another minute
right now. Yeah.
All right, flag plants, and we'll get out of here. I'll go first. I'm gonna go with my boy. I'm gonna go with Dort as small forward on FanDuel. I just think he's too cheap, man. Here's why.
He's a good play. He's a good play.
It's
I'm not arguing
the bleals. It really is, and the stocks, man. We gotta go with the stacks. They're just 3 points apiece. He has upside on a 2-gamer. He shouldn't be that.
He'll get run even in a blowout.
Yeah, he shouldn't be that owned. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's not gonna be that owned. So yeah, I like him. That's gonna be my play, and then you got yours.
Bagwell for me. If you're talking about a GPP on DraftKings, but choosing between those 3, it's Baisley. Cash, it's Dort. And then if we're talking about my flag plant is Jamal Murray on DraftKings. He's too cheap. This dude has. We know his upside. We played him. If anyone was a sub last year, we played him and Donovan Mitchell all the time in the bubble. That's not going to happen. But I'm saying the dude legitimately has 60, 70 point upside and higher. We've seen it.
Jamal